Tempest Trials, Doorway to Destiny. This time, it looks like we're going to be doing FE4 Tempest Trials. So let's get the show on the road and see what we got. Lord Sigurd, descendant of Baldur of the 12 Crusaders, you wield a strength not many command. Please, lend me that strength and help me defeat the enemy within this tempest. This enemy, who is it, Prince Marth? Our foe, the foot of this chaos. It's you, Lord Sigurd. Impossible. He is a Sigurd from another world, trapped in an unending nightmare. If we defeat him, he will be released from this terrible prison, and this chaos will end. Then I must face myself. That is no easy thing to stomach, even if he is from another world. But if this other Sigurd is the root of this chaos, I will do what I must to sever that root. I am with you, Prince Marth. Thank you, Lord Sigurd. Together, we won't lose. You have a strength the other Sigurd lacks. The strength of... Sigurd, you're all right. Prince Quan, where did you... It has been too long, Sigurd! Eldigan, you're here too? They will join us. Together we will break through this chaos. My friends, the path ahead is treacherous. You need not burden yourselves by joining this fight. What burden, Sigurd? We made a promise back at the academy in Valhalla, if you recall. We vowed to always come to the aid of one another, no matter the cost. Yes, I remember. Such dearly held memories are not easily forgotten. These bonds you share will be the strength we'll need in the battles to come. Now let's face our foe. For maximum fury, guys. Maximum fury. Absolute rage. Actually, I don't have Eldigan on this account, so I can't even see the Fury Man in action. I think that story was interesting, other than kind of facing yourself, but I guess we've been facing ourselves in these Tempest Trials many times already. Okie dokie. So, here we are. These are our bonus units this time. I've talked about them briefly before during the calendar. This time, I'll give you kind of a rundown of it. We always have these ones up here, which used to be only 40% bonus units. This time, we have Quan, Sylvia, and Lewin. They are the new units. I generally recommend not pulling for new units. So in my case, I do not have these 3 units, and you probably shouldn't pull just to use them on a Tempest Trials. Even though that might make your experience a bit easier, they aren't needed. And farming is pretty much done through GHBs or rival domains. Rest in peace, rival domains, because of relay defense. Either way, Ethlyn is our free Tempest Trials unit that we'll receive, and she's actually great. And I'll talk about her in a moment. We have Sigurd, who's been on so many banners now that you might have a copy of him. I actually don't. But he's a great unit to use in auto battles, or in general, because of Crusaders War and Divine Turfing reducing damage significantly. Finally, we have Daedra. Daedra is pretty cool. I do actually have a good way to use Daedra for auto battles. If you have a Daedra yourself, it's a good idea. I've done this with Sanaki before. It's a good idea to actually give her Fortress Defense in the A slot and Close Defense Seal. And that might seem a little weird, but the reason you would do something like that is because enemy melee units actually attack range units that can't retaliate a lot of the time. So if you just bulk up their defenses and consider bonus unit stats, Daedra can go up to like 30 defense, and it makes your auto battles pretty easy. Finally, Eldigan. He's pretty good in this Tempest Trials, especially if you combine him with Ethan healing from far away. And Jomke, who we recently got. Jomke's okay. He's got good defensive bulk, and just like the same reason I mentioned Daedra, if you combine this good defensive bulk, you can make him really good for auto battles. Now, keep in mind this is strictly for auto battles. If you're using it manually, please don't use like Daedra with Fortress Defense and Close Defense, because you have control over that. But with AI, you can't really control it all too well. Eldigan as well, one of the best things you can give him is actually Renewal. But if you have a Dark Mistletoe, it turns him kind of like into an Ares, and Ares is, with Vantage, Dark Mistletoe, and Bonfires, you can do some pretty cool things as well. As we know, Ares can really run that build. So, our seals from this Tempest Trials are going to be, well, we already know that Ethan is given to us, 1 at a 4-star copy and 1 at a 5-star copy up here. It's not like the previous Tempest Trials where we got like tons of units and no seals, so they seem to maybe they're going to be doing that once in a while as a rerun, but not permanently. So that's kind of unfortunate. It means that our merges on Tempest Trials units will not be that consistent, unfortunately. Ethlyn herself, though, is a great unit. If you actually look at her kit, she's got Fear Plus, which reduces damage. This is great for surviving. It seems like she was kitted out specifically for just being really good in auto battles. Physic Plus keeps her away, as we'll see in some of the gameplay. Heavenly Light will heal up your whole team. Speed Defense Bond is good for outside of Arena. It's not outside of Tempest Trials. It's not so good here. But it's not too bad if they're cornered. And Live to Serve to keep herself alive. And this is actually the first time we have Live to Serve on 4-star. However, if you're going to fodder her, Speed Defense Bond is the way to go. And this is actually a 240 SP skill. So if you can use that for arena scoring, it's also a pretty good idea. Not too bad for a free unit, actually. I'm quite happy with this. Let's talk about the seals. Obviously, we have 42 orbs as always, a bunch of coins. We have the Fire Blessing given for free. And the seals that we're going to receive this time are, much to my disappointment, Blaze Dance. We've gotten Earth Dance before, but Blaze Dance is not too bad. Actually, it gives attack up to 4. I guess if you're using Wings of Mercy on your dancers and you just want to buff post-turn instead of at the beginning with Hone Attack, maybe you're combining it with like Drive Defense, then it's not so bad, but I wouldn't really recommend upgrading this seal over so many more better seals. Threat and Defense isn't the worst out of the threatens. I think it's actually one of the better ones, with Threat and Attack also being really good. Threat and Defense can amplify your damage. Stick this on some tanks, and you'll use it pretty well. Again, don't recommend upgrading it. There's better seals. Fire Blessing is our blessing given for free, so that's very welcome. And finally, probably the highlight of the rewards is Drive Speed. Okay, so Drive Speed is pretty good, but Speed is a stat that you can actually have too much of. Unlike Drive Attack or Drive Defense, Drive Attack helps to break weapon triangles. For example, a red unit beating a blue. And Drive Defense is pretty useful for the exact same reason where you beat weapon triangles. If you're defending against a blue with a red unit, it's really useful to have those stats. But with speed, there is definitely some situations where too much speed is not so useful, especially if your units are already quite quick. If they're already over 40 speed, you probably won't find much use out of Drive Speed. So this is a nice seal as an option, but it's not necessarily a mandatory seal. Something like Close Defense, Quick Riposte 3, Drive Defense and Drive Attack are really good. And I think Drive Attack and Drive Defense are better than Drive Speed in most situations. That's just my opinion on that, though. You can probably use Drive Speed really well, especially if you stack it on somebody like Ira, who can just abuse Regnal Astra, I guess. She would get more damage out of Drive Attack, though. Anyways, what I want to focus on, a little bit of a short guide right now for Tempest Trials, actually, is how to effectively farm your bonus units for Arena. So that's going to be my flavor of today's guide. That was my impressions on Doorway to Destiny. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to talk about bonus unit preparation. So this week's in Arena, we have Valter. You could place Valter here with Anna or Jomke if those are your choice of bonus units, if you choose to do Arena. What we're going to do is of course, for summoner support and ally support, or even SP farming, you can choose to do this. What I've done is I've created a 5-star Valter. I've ally supported him with one of my other plus 10 units, which is Fjorm, and summoner supported him for those extra stats, which are used for bonus unit kills. So what you need to do to farm ally support and summoner support is you need to kill level 35 or higher units. If you want to level up, you can use the lower level Tempest Trials, but if you want to farm ally and summoner support, you actually have to start right here on level 35. However, Hard 5 here, the final map does have level 35 units, so you can slowly accrue summoner and ally support on that map, but it is very slow, unlike this map, where if you just auto battle it, you will accrue it every map, generally as long as the units are smart enough to be together. So as you'll see here, the units are level 35. They'll be good to go. We'll unleash the beast, and hopefully Valter doesn't fail us. There he goes, getting some kills already. Ira looks like she wants to go bully, but it's fine because Valter's going to come and save the day, and so he has. This time we have an Emerald Axe, but we have a healer with Aethline, and it looks like Valter beats Titania no problem. Fjorm is behind him. He's farming that ally support and summoner support. You can't see it visually, but summoner support does take 80 kills, or about 80 maps to farm, and rest in peace Valter. Unfortunately, that happens when 2 greens show up on a map, but it is what it is. It takes 80 kills, or about 80 maps to farm up a summoner support. It can cut it in half if if you've already farmed summoner support on the unit already, it can go down to 40. Even though Walter died on that map, it seems like I got summoner support credit. I know this is true, but it's just funny because he died. So apparently we're getting we are now bigger friends with Walter, even though he's dead. And finally, with ally support, it's about 60, I think. 60 maps in the unit that their ally supported with has to be beside them. So this should take probably about a couple stamina potions. I think about 3 or 4 if hopefully your unit has some success farming Tempest Trials. I've already done this with Anna on my other account. It took me about 2 or 3 stamina potions of just lunatic 5 and it wasn't too difficult. So as long as you have some patience, you can also be farming your score in Tempest Trials. And yeah, I mean, this is a great way to farm that ally and summoner support. So hopefully, you know, you guys get on it right now and don't have to worry about the alternative, which is generally rival domains, or Wednesday's Grand Hero Battle with Robin is also a good choice because of the level 35 units. Remember, level 35 plus is all you need. So there you go, the team is all dead. But with some patience, farming the Tempest Trials, you'll get that summoner support and ally support quite quickly. It doesn't necessarily have to be with arena bonus units, but that's what I choose to do it with. Of course, we have Sigurd here, who's actually invincible because of Miracle, killing half our team. And there it is. Hopefully you guys found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.